Hello, History 105 and 305 students. I am a librarian here at WSU, and in this video, I will share some general information about the library, the effective nature of research, considerations when performing background research, and a demonstration of the library's website. Our goals for today are for you to be able to navigate the library website, identify and use keywords as part of the evolving nature of research, and to know how and why to contact a librarian for help. If we cover a topic that you don't fully understand or would like clarification on, please ask questions at any time by calling, emailing, or chatting online. You can email us at van.library@wsu.edu or call 360-546-9680. Something to consider when working on your project is that research is an affective process. In other words, finding, understanding, and creating information can be emotional. One moment you'll be excited, the next you'll be frustrated. This is part of the process. Learning and doing new things can come with some discomfort. That being said, it's important that we can differentiate between discomfort and dysfunction. When does discomfort escalate to dysfunction and why? We'll take a look at some examples and discuss some systemic flaws inherent to libraries. One example of when we might experience discomfort in the research process is when we're trying to find information that is relevant to our research. This search often involves a lot of trial and error and can lead to frustration if you're having difficulty finding suitable sources, which can be especially challenging if you're researching a topic that is not very familiar to you. Another time you might encounter some discomfort during the research process is when you come across information that contradicts your view of a topic. Perhaps you firmly believe that Barack Obama was born in Kenya and was therefore ineligible to be president, but while you're conducting your research, you come across a copy of his Hawaiian birth certificate, which goes against your initial premise and means you'll have to restart your research or at least reframe it. Certainly frustrating, especially if you're short on time. One example of when you might encounter dysfunction in libraries is while searching databases in the library catalog. Information in these systems is organized using controlled vocabularies that are subjective and have been passed down through time. This creates several issues, including difficulty pinpointing specific terminology to find relevant information. For example, if you're interested in the traditional cuisines of India and you search the catalog for the term Indian cooking, you'll have to sift through some irrelevant search results about the cuisines of indigenous Americans, which wasn't our topic. You may also run into terminology that is outright contributing to the marginalization of people. To see evidence of this, one need not look further than Library of Congress's subject headings, many of which still contain outdated and dehumanizing language, such as referring to people as schizophrenics instead of people with schizophrenia. Another example of dysfunction you may encounter in libraries relates to information access. There are innumerable ways to access library resources, and the way to do so is not always clear. For example, you may be gathering journal articles for your research assignment, so you're looking through search results in a database. You might come across some articles that are immediately available as a PDF file, and other articles that require you to select the Find It hyperlink. While having a wide variety of resources is essential to serving all students' needs, it can introduce some inconsistencies like that into our systems, which may cause some frustration when you're just getting started. But fear not, librarians are available to help you with many aspects of your research. This includes forming your research question, navigating library resources, identifying keywords, finding sources, suggesting books, or just talking about your research ideas in general. So don't end up like the character from this comic who spent 15 years trying to find a resource that they probably could have found much faster if they had just consulted a librarian. Now let's talk about background research. This is probably something you already do without thinking too much about it. But let's define it as the phase of the research process where we're compiling information on our topic from a variety of quote-unquote non-scholarly sources. This includes our own knowledge of or experience with a topic, news reporting on the topic, and Wikipedia or other encyclopedia entries. So you might be asking, why do we perform background research in the first place? Why don't we jump right into the scholarly sources? To that, I would say we primarily do background research to achieve a base level understanding of our topic and the terminology that's used in relation to it. And with that information, we can develop key terms and phrases for our scholarly research. This is part of the search strategy you'll use when completing your assignment. Now let's take a look at the library website. So as you work through your library research assignment, you will begin investigating the historical roots of a contemporary issue. This website demonstration will provide guidance on developing keywords using the library's online catalog, Search It, and using research databases to find resources for your assignment. During your research, you'll need to seek out secondary sources, such as historical monographs and scholarly journal articles. These types of sources will be valuable in your research as they can provide summaries, interpretations, and analyses of historical records related to your topic. Let's start with monographs, which are scholarly written works on one subject, often by a single author. To find monographs, let's begin by searching the library's online catalog, Search It. From the library's homepage, you can either begin your search in the search box in the middle of the page, or select the link underneath it to perform an advanced search. Let's do the latter. From the advanced search page, you are able to select a search profile from the drop-down menu at the top of the search criteria panel. Our catalog defaults to searching the holdings of all WSU libraries, as well as the holdings of our partner libraries that participate in the Summit Resource Sharing Program. If you only wanted to see results from the Vancouver library, you could select the drop-down arrow and change the search profile to Vancouver campus. Let's leave it as is for now. Next, we can focus on developing our search query. Just like with Google, you want to choose appropriate keywords to return the most relevant results. So suppose we are researching the history of factory farms in the United States. We can start with the keyword phrase factory farms, or we can use an asterisk wildcard character. In doing so, our search will return results that contain not only the word farm, but also words that have farm as their base, such as farming and farmer. Next, you can click the search button. Let's take a look at the search result, intensive animal farming. You can click the title to open the catalog record. Looking at the summary in the details section of the catalog record, it states that the book is about modern technology, but we are interested in history. So let's narrow our search results by including the keyword history in our search query. You can do this by exiting the catalog record and adding it to the next line of the search criteria panel. Now the search results must include both factory farm and history. Select the search button. Food chains from farmyard to shopping cart sounds like it could be relevant, But on the byline, you'll see that it lists two editors rather than a single author. Since we're looking for a monograph, we should avoid edited works by multiple authors. Our first result has both farm and factory in the title, and it only lists a single author, Deborah K. Fitzgerald. So let's take a look at this search result. Reviewing the summary and the subjects sections, it's clear this book focuses on the history of factory farming in the US, so it's a great candidate for our research. The description also indicates that the book includes bibliographical references, which suggests it's a scholarly work. Considering each of these factors, the single author, single topic, and presence of references, we can feel confident we have found a monograph. But if you are still unsure, it never hurts to consult a librarian. And since this is an ebook, you'll be able to access it instantly by following the hyperlinks included in the Access Options section of the Search It record. When accessing WSU online resources, you may be asked to log in with your WSU credentials. After doing so, you will be redirected to the full text of the ebook. Now we're going to pivot and look for scholarly articles. From the library's homepage, you can select Databases A to Z for a listing of all of our databases in alphabetical order, or you can select Article Databases by Subject for a listing of all of our databases organized by topic. Let's do the latter. Since we are researching the history of factory farms, let's follow the link for history databases. Two useful databases are America, History and Life, and Historical Abstracts, with the former only covering history in the US and Canada. Other databases you might consider using are Academic Search Complete, JSTOR, and Project Muse, which include a wider range of disciplines. Since I am specifically interested in factory farming in the United States, I'm going to choose the database America, History and Life, but many of its features will be common to other databases. Once inside the database, I'm going to key in some of the search terms we created earlier, as well as the keyword phrase industrial animal agriculture. The drop-down menu between each search field contains a list of three Boolean operators, and, or, and not. The default operator is AND, which narrows your search results since it requires the database to return search results that contain both keywords on either side of the operator. By selecting the OR operator instead, you can broaden your search results since they need only contain the keywords on a single side of the operator. Finally, the NOT operator would exclude search results containing the keyword that follows the operator. Let's select OR for our initial search. We can also scroll down on the page to apply some additional filters. Perhaps our instructor asked us to find articles published in the last 20 years. We can create a filter to do this in the publication date section by specifying that we only want articles published between June 2004 and June 2024. To ensure we are getting scholarly articles, let's also check the peer-reviewed filter. Next, select the yellow search button at the bottom of the page. To be sure we're getting the most relevant articles to our research, let's change the sorting algorithm from date newest to relevance. Our first result includes factory farm in the title, so it sounds like it could be relevant, but it states that the article is written in Korean, which I can't read, so I'm going to apply a language filter to only include articles written in English. Our new top result appears to address agriculture in Australia. Since we're interested in American agriculture, let's refine our search further using the subject filter on the left side of the web page and select United States. We've now filtered our search results down from 139 to just 46, a much more manageable number. Both of our top results seem to be related to factory farming in the United States, but the second result has factory farms in the title of the article, so that is where I'm going to start. You can open the database record for the article by clicking the title. From the database record, we learn that the article was published in the journal titled American Studies in 2009. This falls within our 20-year window. Since we are only shown the abstract for this article rather than the full text article, we can click the link on the left side of the page that says Find it at WSU Libraries. This hyperlink will redirect you to the Search It catalog record for that article, and from there you can click Download PDF in the top section or view the article in the JSTOR or Project Muse database from the Access Options section. This video has introduced you to some important topics and techniques to consider when performing historical research for your library research assignment. If you encounter any questions or need support during your research, please reach out to a librarian. Our contact info is listed on the library's homepage.